Amazing day. I want to talk to you, those of you who have maybe tried natural medicine and you haven't really got the results that you were looking for. So maybe you're trying it and you have little to no effect. Maybe you've been to a natural medicine doctor, maybe you're just not getting the results you're looking for. And the thing that prompted this live today was the fact that I've had a few consultations and over the past few weeks, and people are starting to ask me, can I just do the lab test? And I really want to help you understand this from a whole picture perspective to give you a little bit of insight of what it actually means to discover the root of your illness so that you can live a life truly in health and vitality. So, this is a story I hear a lot of times when I'm talking to people about natural health practices and getting to the root. And many people have already been failed, right? They've tried the alternative therapies and they've started to lose trust in them. Some of the people that I talk to, they've already tried diet, exercise, maybe they've even tried functional lab tests and they're just not getting the results. So I did I did talk to a lady this week and she says, I've already done this lab test and I've already taken these supplements and they just didn't work for me. But I'm going to tell you, like I told her, here's the problem. When you don't address the root of your condition, like toxicity or stress or relationship problems or nutrition or emotional impact or environmental toxins, right? Or exercise or lack thereof, then you're never going to address the real root of the issue. So let's just take hormones, for example, because I love talking about hormones. And if I give you one of my favorite hormone tests called the Dutch test, and we start looking at that and those results, and we find that you're estrogen dominant, and that just means you have estrogen toxicity in your body, you have a little too much on board, then we can start opening up those drainage pathways. We can work on the liver, we can work on detox. If we correct those pathways, then we're going to prevent things like DNA damage and breast cancer. And this is the beautiful thing about that test, it's a preventative test, right, to prevent disease in the future. And when we're working on those drainage pathways, what we're doing is we're draining off all that old estrogen from the body. So the problem is, though, is if you're consistently exposing yourself to what I like to call, or the world of science likes to call, xenoestrogens, or those fake estrogens that are in our environment in the form of toxins, then it doesn't really matter how many pills and potions you take. When you stop the treatment, the symptoms are going to return. And many times they're not even going to go away completely. And you may never find complete hormone balance. The problem is not the fact that the therapies don't work or the pills and potions are the problem or you're taking the wrong ones. The problem is the fact that there are still lifestyle factors that are there hindering you from getting well. And I see this so many times in people, and it's often one of the reasons why lab tests are so important on one hand, but then on the other hand, it's also one of the reasons why they're not the only component. So if you're looking at a functional medicine practitioner and you're working with someone and they're only addressing one part of the puzzle in the form of lab tests, then they're not addressing the whole picture. So you want to make sure that you're addressing those lifestyle factors as well. Now, I went through this for many years, even in my own health, and I think that so many times that's why I remain stuck. And I remember being on bioidentical hormones even, right? Because I was in perimenopause at age 27. I just wanted a way out. I'd been on birth control for about, close to 20 years. And I wanted a way out. So I started bioidentical hormone therapy. And I wondered why the pills and potions just weren't working for me, right? I was taking injections, I was taking pills, I was taking creams. And why did I need to increase my dose every time I went to the doctor? And the truth is my hormones just were not coming into balance. So what we're talking about today is only one piece of a very big puzzle. And part of the issue is that when you receive an external source of hormones, then your own hormone production is going to get a little bit lazy. And the body is going to do the easiest thing as possible, right? We all kind of want to do that anyway. But a huge piece of this puzzle is that there may be lifestyle factors that are standing in the way that are preventing you from reaching your fullest health potential. And I know for me, that was my case. And whenever I talk to and work with clients, I know it's true for them too. Even if you feel like you're doing all the right things, there's always a gap. I can promise you that the right person will investigate the gaps and they will find a missing piece to the puzzle. So whenever I got to the end of the result in my own issue, that's really when I found a lot of those toxicity issues. And my hormones were not really the problem. My gut was the problem when it came to my hormone health. And so many times this is true. So this is really the reason why it's so important to take a whole body approach instead of just looking at one simple thing like a hormone test. Because if we look at simple hormone balance and we look at something like PCOS or another, it's a short name for polycystic ovarian syndrome, of course the hormones are at a balance in a case like this, but it's not really the hormones that are an issue. Inflammation and high blood sugar are actually the driving forces behind that disease process. And many times your doctor is going to prescribe you hormones. But the problem with that approach is that it never addresses the underlying cause. So lab tests, again, they're only one part of the detective work. And we have to look at our history, our environment, and if we're being exposed to other chemicals or toxins or mold, for instance. So we have to look at your digestion, right? We have to make sure that you're getting your nutrients on board. And if you are getting in enough nutrients, are you actually digesting and absorbing those? And if you come to me asking me to run a lab test and interpret it, I can do that. And I can tell you the result of that test. And you may move the needle a little bit, but without a proper interview with you as an individual to help you understand the lifestyle factors that are impacting you in a negative way, then you may never get well. And this is a huge piece of that puzzle today when you're attempting to follow those natural healing protocols. And this is another reason why people suffer for so many years, dealing with the same issues, trying to trial and error things over and over on their own. The problem is that when you operate in this manner, I know you're trying to save money, and like we're all trying to save money, I get that. But what you're doing is you're prolonging your results. And you're not going to get a full understanding of how the body truly functions and how you need to approach it in a systematic way if you don't educate yourself on how to do that. Now, the truth is, it took me 10 years to learn everything that I know today, but I apply this with my clients in a very systematic way today. And I want you to know that the best way to get the most amazing results is to partner with a professional who can give you the whole picture. Someone that can help you put together the pieces of the puzzle that we've been talking about. And you want to work with someone who's willing to do that detective work or that investigative piece for you, so that you can live in health and happiness. I don't want you chasing symptoms the rest of your life, and you sure don't want to chase symptoms the rest of your life. So just this week, I had someone ask me to run a simple lab test and interpret it, and they wanted to do that instead of going through my program. Now, while you may get some results that way, I'm not saying that you won't get well, but it still never addresses the underlying root of the condition. And if you want to experience whole body healing, then you gotta get to the root. So many times that's emotions, many times that's relationships, it's toxicity. There's a lot of different reasons. And without investigating, we just don't know, right? Everybody's unique, and so should your health and healing protocol be. So let me know if this resonates with you. Let me know, shoot me a message today if I can offer you any additional insight on anything that I've covered. I love you guys. I hope you have an amazing day, and we will talk to you very soon.